In 2005, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, the Uganda Investment Authority, Enterprise Uganda, and the Ministry of Finance and the Government of Uganda set up a pilot business linkage program to encourage transnational corporations, called TNCs, or large domestic companies, to work with small and medium-sized local firms, called SMEs, to meet their domestic supply needs instead of outsourcing those orders to foreign firms. The Business Linkage Program is an extension of the 20-year-old UNCTAD Integrated Capacity Building Program for SMEs and Entrepreneurial Skills Promotion, called EMPRETEC, which is dedicated to helping promising entrepreneurs put their ideas into action and growing their fledgling businesses.
The Business Linkage Program was meant to generate a long-term relationship between small and medium-scale enterprises and large corporates operating in this country. In that relationship, it was envisaged that the small and medium-scale enterprises would acquire technical as well as managerial skills to be able to meet the needs of world-class reputable companies. But beyond that achievement of a mutual relationship between those two parties, the other objective was that this program would also enhance access to credit by the small and medium-scale enterprises.
The Uganda Business Linkage Program brought together 6 TNCs and large national companies and 26 local entrepreneurs who run small to medium-sized businesses. But more importantly, it set up an institutional mechanism to broker and deepen the business partnerships between the TNCs and SMEs. The Uganda Investment Authority was instrumental in lobbying for government reforms on behalf of the private sector and identifying TNCs for the program. Enterprise Uganda brokered the linkages between TNCs and SMEs and provided business development services and mentoring skills to the selected SME suppliers. UNCTAD, in cooperation with UNDP, supported the program since its inception and coordinated the transfer of international best practices. MTN is a leading provider of communication services based in Johannesburg, South Africa, which operates in 14 African countries. It represents both the largest telecommunication company and taxpayer in Uganda, contributing $100 million per annum in tax revenues.
Well, MTN Uganda is now into its 10th year of operation. In this short space of time, we have experienced rapid and exponential growth, such that today we are Uganda's largest taxpayer. This success obviously would not have been possible without the support of our many suppliers, local dealers, and other partners. Our success has been their success. These organizations, these are partners I'm talking about, need to have structures, business plans, and systems in place to raise their level to international standards. Hence, our support of the Business Linkage Program.
The first survey that was done before this program was actualized showed that the TNCs felt that SMEs are not given long-term planning and that they are inconsistent in their quality and quantity, and they are unreliable, and they won't be there when you need them. Now, why this program works is that it actually assists the SME to think about long term. It helps the SME to put in place systems, management systems that will ensure that they are there long term. It helps the SME to realize that it's not a question of chasing a deal and you disappear, no, but rather establish a market where you become competitive, gain a certain advantage, and the big company, assured of being here decades to come, will rely on you, and you can ride on the back of the big company to grow your market as well as you grow your reputation.
One of the most distinguishing features of Enterprise Uganda Training Services was the EMPRETEC, Entrepreneurship Training Workshop, which was highly valued by all the beneficiaries of the Business Linkages Program, both the TNCs and SMEs.
When we come in, the first thing we deal with is the attitude. Because once we deal with your mindset, once we help you change the way you think, the way you do business, using best practices from elsewhere, according to the EMPRETEC program the EMPRETEC model that we run, it is something that is tested, developed in Latin America, tested world over. And that program has confirmed that actually you can change somebody's behavioral competencies and change them from a bad entrepreneur to a good entrepreneur. And so we've actually realized that once we've taken them through the behavioral change, everything else falls in place very easily. It's easy to appreciate the importance of being a reliable person, giving your word and someone taking you for your word, issues of integrity, character. Because when you go to the bank, it's the same thing, character. And so we found that it's very, very central in entrepreneurship. If you have the wrong attitude, you can't go find business. And that's why we focus on that.
Empretech's core product, the Entrepreneurship Training Workshop, is based on a unique methodology developed at Harvard University, which focuses on behavioral approach to entrepreneurship. Empretech was first introduced in Argentina in 1988. Since then, it has been rolled out to 27 countries, mainly in Latin America, the Middle East, and Africa, assisting more than 120,000 entrepreneurs. Now, let's hear from 4 entrepreneurs who directly benefited from this program.
Partnering with MTN was a dream come true, so to speak. For, like I said, we had struggled for about 3 years, trying to get to them to know that we can produce what they were importing. So we didn't quite easily think we would engage ourselves into the business to the level we are doing today. But somehow they embraced us because of what they saw we are capable of doing, and we have since taken them on, and we are not the same as we were when we started.
In line with UNCTAD's philosophy of assisting women entrepreneurs and alleviating poverty, the Business Linkages program focused on women development, providing special opportunities to women-owned SMEs.
We attended the entrepreneurship training workshop, which was 10 days, very, very intensive 10 days. And in those 10 days, I realized that what I was actually doing was running my business blind. Because in those 10 days, I realized I had no clue what running a business was and how, as an entrepreneur, what I should have. I realized I didn't have a business plan. When they did my business health check, I didn't have a human resource manual. I didn't have a financial, proper financial records. So in those 10 days, I realized, I was just asking myself in those 10 days, when is this program ending? And I rushed back and put things in order.
The Business Linkages program proved to be a pivotal mechanism for deepening business outlook, not just for urban-based SMEs, but equally importantly for rural communities engaged in income-generating activities. By transforming farmers into rural entrepreneurs, the program had a remarkable impact in empowering the poor.
We being farmers, we've been growing cane, but we didn't know the business aspects of it. How to keep records, future planning, how to invest that money. So it was a very nice course and we really benefited from it. Well, at first I was relying on cane. Then I had to buy some cows. I bought a lorry. So I'm now doing some transport business. And I'm hoping I'm going to expand my sugarcane fields now. Because at first we were only just looking at cane alone. But when you look at the income and the time it takes, so we have started diversifying our businesses.
Initially, we were like peasants, I would contend, because when you get money from Kenyatta, 5 million, 6 million, you think that is profit, or you think that is the income which you've got. So we didn't mind at that time. But after the training, we were now able to net off the costs involved and be very clear about what actual net income you have got, and either be happy or throw out a few questions to understand why your situation is like what it is. So the training, in fact, helped us open up our eyes and extend our horizon to really know whether we have any benefit from cane growing or not.
According to UNCTAD's philosophy, while business linkages have proven a powerful tool for building world-class SMEs, each program may have distinct differences and should be adapted to local needs. Thus, a transfer of knowledge and methodology has to take place in order to nurture local facilitators and develop local talent able to replicate and adapt best practices.
We found one of the more important lessons is that both the TNCs and the SMEs are actually willing to contribute to the costs of running such a program. And this is important because at first it was thought that we shouldn't even dare to ask anybody to contribute. But we actually asked for token contributions, 10%, 15%, and we found that where the TNCs understand it and the SMEs, they actually make a contribution. That's one. Two, we've also found that the SMEs at first seem to feel that TNCs don't really want to be in structured linkages with them. On the other hand, we found that the TNCs actually want to be in structured linkages with them, and that was very good for us. We also noticed that we were told by the TNCs that there are things they've been saying to the SMEs for a long, long time, and the SMEs won't listen. So another very important piece of information that has been validated by this program is that actually the presence of a third party, a professional provider of business development services, makes things much better.
The project in Uganda was supported by a $450,000 grant from the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, called SIDA. In order for business linkage programs to be sustainable, a crucial requirement is that the host country government develops a long-term vision, facilitating institutional coordination and resolving linkage impediments. In the case of Uganda, private sector development activities have a priority right to the highest office in the country.
As far as we are concerned as government, the business linkage has been more successful than we thought. And at this stage, we intend to support it in the next budget. Enhance our efforts to deal with poverty reduction.
We have built the capacity to a certain extent to continue the program, but we still need support. We need support especially for the small and medium enterprises. They still require more and more training with Enterprise Uganda in better skills, in entrepreneurship skills and managing their businesses better. So I envisage this program to continue for a few more years.
Africa can indeed make this program become its launching pad to take its rightful place in the investment and in trade circles globally. What we want to begin seeing in this continent is actually seeing people like me and others, the black Africans, the indigenous Africans, becoming champions in replicating this program and entrepreneurship indeed in the African context. We do realize that many attempts in the past were brought to this country, but they were brought while they were premised maybe solely on the experience of the Brazilians, of the Asians, of the Irish. Now we're approaching it differently. We are saying we have got a history, we've got a culture, and it is Africans who know best where that culture has taken us and to what extent it has caused a hindrance to our belonging to a globalizing village. So when you take on Africans to champion a program like this, we will be borrowing on the benefits of other countries, but localizing it to fit within our domestic contexts.
The Business Linkage Program, Making Africa Work.
Banange kamba bulire nga twesimye oye yatutonda nga maliride eno mu Africa tine ebyobutonde nkumu. No one can take that away from us.